Alright everyone, we have breaking news and it's significant enough that I'm doing an extra video here, so yay. I was going to go shopping, but then got 5 people messaging me with this. Now apparently Julian Assange, they've made a decision. He will not be extradited to the United States. The US court's request to the UK, where he's detained largely in solitary and being essentially tortured, the US won't be able to get a hold of him. If there's ever a reason to just pardon him, I mean, the U.S. can appeal, which they probably will, and they'll keep kicking the can down the road for the rest of forever. There's no real purpose to it. Now, I've said that Trump should pardon him. He did nothing wrong. He simply published leaks that other people had already divulged. Now, he's not a hacker. Julian Assange is not a criminal. He's never hazarded people. We had, not that long ago, a leak that showed quite clearly a phone call where he called Clinton's State Department lawyer in order to warn them ahead of time that they needed to protect some of their assets because a disgruntled ex-employee was going to release unredacted leaks. Julian Assange, as far as harm reduction and stuff, literally participating, but that's the good news. So he's not going to be extradited to the U.S., at least now. The bad news, number one, of course, as I said, the U.S. can appeal and probably will because it's a high-profile thing. Number two, he's still detained in the UK under terrible conditions with little to no legal access, little to no ability to talk to anybody, and being essentially tortured. He's basically in the hole, as they call it here. It's funny because they said, and the judge's decision there was basically, well, if he goes to a U.S. Supermax facility, you know, we can't be sure that he's not going to be able to kill himself, basically, which I don't know whether that was a sly aside about Epstein and people like that. Probably is, but that's true. And I guess in the UK they figure you need different treatment of prisoners. I think the standards in European countries, at least Western Europe, tend to be higher with regards to the treatment of prisoners. He's still being tortured, basically. He's in solitary, essentially. And he's not even, nobody's claiming he did anything violent. Nobody's claiming he fomented terrorism or gave money to pirates or anything like that. They're accusing him essentially of a white-collar crime from the U.S., and they're not even going to extradite him. I don't even know why the U.K. continues to detain him. He should be, I mean, he should be free now. He shouldn't have been jailed in the first place. The idea that he should have had to shut himself up in the Ecuadorian embassy for how many years he was there, under not the greatest of conditions even then, basically locked into a single-room apartment with, you know, for a while there he had balcony access, he could get some fresh air. Then they sealed that off, I think, wouldn't even let him do that. He's been maligned for years and years. WikiLeaks, in my opinion, has been a force for good in the world. I unequivocally support pardoning him, but even that won't clear up the issue. The Swedish government over and over again has revived and then dropped the bullshit sex assault charges against him, which we know are false. We've had a complete exoneration of Assange's character regarding those, but every once in a while they still foment shit there. The UK is still detaining him in, again, basically conditions that would have been considered inhumane 100 years ago, let alone in modernity. He needs to be freed unequivocally. He should be able to go back to doing what he does best, which is telling people, hey, your government's lying to you. He's done this. I love it when people say something like, oh, he's a Russian asset, he's trying to destroy the West. Dude, there are Russian leaks too on WikiLeaks. You got to understand, he basically gets info, WikiLeaks does, from third parties. They say, hey, something shitty's going on with my government, with the church, whatever. Here's the info. WikiLeaks looks through it, decides whether it's worth putting out there, and redacts it as necessary. Literal harm reduction from WikiLeaks, but somehow they're supposed to be terrible people. They're international terrorists. They're sowing distrust in government. You should distrust your government. If you trust your government, you're a dumbass. That's about all. Peace out.